What is up, YouTube family? So I've been meaning to do this video, which is why the weeklies are taking me a little bit to do. I've been doing a lot of personal readings, I've been doing a lot of freaking readings, guys, a lot of them. But I want to make this video about how to interpret tarot readings on YouTube in particular as a viewer. This is particularly for my channel. So this is what you should know watching my videos. This is not going to be for every reader, so it might apply to other readers that read similarly to how I read, but this is for my videos, okay? So first things first, not all readings are going to be for you, okay? These are general readings. They're general readings for the collective. They are general readings for zodiac signs, for the entire collective, for energy shifts, for moon cycles. They are not personal readings. So if they don't resonate, that's perfectly fine. If you're sitting there and you're kind of like, well, that kind of resonates, I could see how I can maybe like force that to fit. Don't try and force it to fit. If it's not fitting, that's fine. Because how the collective consciousness works is we tap into little pockets, right? We either tap into a big group or maybe a small group, maybe a little niche over here, but it's not going to resonate for everybody every single time. And that's okay. When it's meant for you, you will know when it's meant for you because you're going to be like, that's my damn message. That right there, that's mine. You're going to know. Please do not force it to fit. Because if you're sitting there struggling to put the pieces together, that's not meant for you. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay? Let's see. I have notes in front of me. So that's why I'm looking down. So tarot reads energy. This is a big one. Let's talk about this. We all have masculine and feminine energy, not gender. I'm a female. I definitely am a masculine energy. You don't want to mess with me. Okay? And that's okay. Because sometimes we can embody our feminine energy. Sometimes we're embodying our masculine energy. Sometimes we're really balancing both of them. And that's a beautiful thing. But when we're doing a tarot reading, just because an Empress shows up doesn't mean that that's the female in the relationship or the partnership or the business connection, okay? It can be the guy. It can be the male. It's just a feminine energy, okay? So just be mindful of that. We can embody that energy at any time, just as we can embody another zodiac sign's energy. So just because I'm a Libra doesn't mean that I'm always going to show up as a Queen of Swords in a reading. I can show up as a King of Wands and be embodying a Leo energy, okay? I can show up as a freaking King of Cups and show up as a Scorpio energy. I can, because energy is fluid, just like time is fluid, just like everything is fluid, okay? So just be mindful of that. So if you're cross-watching a reading for your person and they're a fire sign, but they show up as a water sign, that's okay. They're just embodying that energy. We don't have to always show up as a zodiac sign that our chart says. We're fully capable of embodying another energy at any time. And it's very much so influenced by whatever transits are happening with the planets, with the moon, with the cycles. So that's okay. Don't think that your chart is the end all be all. It's not, especially with tarot. Okay? Now time. Time is fluid. So this is the main reason I stopped doing weekly readings with a time stamp of this date to this date, because time's fluid. And if I were to do that, I'd be blowing a lot of smoke up your ass, because it's just not the truth. It's just not the truth. It's not. Because if I said, hey, let's do a reading for January 1st to January 7th, for some of you, that energy might not happen until February 1st and February 7th. Because what might be your present moment might be for somebody else something that already happened. Because time's fluid. It happens for everybody at different times because we're all on a different path. So something that happened for me might not happen for you for a few months. Something that happens for that person might have already happened for you 2 weeks ago, because time is fluid. It's always going, okay? Let's talk about, before I get into what sign to watch, let's talk about the reader and the message that the reader portrays on YouTube. And I will say that this goes for all readers. This isn't just my channel, especially if you're watching an intuitive reader. So if a reader is very aligned, you are going to see a theme throughout all the readings. So perfect example. I had a bunch of readings. You probably realized I was going on a rant about the fire signs last week. And if you're watching this past that, I'm sorry. This is a very long time ago then. But I had one week where I went on this rant because I did these fire signs, and these videos were like 30 minutes long, and they were all about the same story. And when a reader gets really aligned, you're going to see a theme with all of the zodiac signs. And I was getting really frustrated because it felt like the same exact reading over and over. And typically they're at least a little bit different. Like there's a little bit difference, but they were so identical. You're going to have similar themes with all the zodiac signs when readers are aligned. So that's just because energy is fluid. Just because you're going through something doesn't mean that your person's not going through it as well, but just in a slightly different variation. So just be mindful of that. Yes, we all have our own struggles. We all have our own circumstances, but we all have our own little tweak to it. Okay. So just because you have a sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter doesn't mean you only got to watch your sun sign. So now let's talk about what sign to watch. So sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. In my opinion, this is not rule, this is not law, it's my opinion. I always watch my rising sign first because you need your time of birth to know your rising sign. You need to know the hour you were born to know your rising sign. Your rising sign dictates your houses, how they lay, how things fall into place in your chart, and how things change by the hour, which dictates kind of like your fortune, your intuition, how things are going to change in your life, your Saturn return. It's a very important placement. It's also how people perceive you. So I always watch my rising sign first. I love the rising sign. So then I would go to your moon, because your moon is what rules emotions. It's also like the heart space, right? So moon is emotions, reactions. It's also daily life because of the moon cycles. And then I go to your sun sign, because your sun sign is kind of like your shell, your core. And then I would go Venus, because Venus is love and everybody cares about love, but also love is the highest frequency. So love is always going to come up in readings. And people are always like, why are there always love readings? Because love is the highest frequency. And when you channel as a reader, you're always tapping into the highest frequency to get to that collective consciousness. And so that's why love comes up a lot. Love doesn't have to be romantic love. We tap into love to get into connections. And love can be just connections in general with people. Love can be work. That's why love sometimes comes up with work readings. Love sometimes comes up with family readings. It sometimes comes up with readings just in regards to spirituality, because if you want to receive, you want to manifest, you want new things to come into your life, it comes from the heart space. It comes from that frequency. So that's why love is a really big thing in regards to tarot readings. That's why it comes up a lot. So I'm sorry for those of you who are like, oh, I'm so tired of love readings. You're going to see it a lot because it's a really important frequency, because it's where we manifest and create from and receive from. So it's all dependent on the reader you watch and how they're able to interpret that and portray that frequency for the message. Okay. And then we have Jupiter, which is all about change and fortune. So that's just if you're interested in watching your Jupiter placement. Okay. And then let's get into the comments now that we've talked about readers and portraying things. So these are the comments on the videos. And we get this sometimes about people who are learning tarot. And it's a little touchy of a topic. So I'm sorry if I trigger you, but I'm just going to be honest with you. A reader is having a conversation with source. When I'm sitting here, I'm not reading, I don't even care. I'll pull any tarot card. So here's the Hermit. If I want to give you a textbook definition of the Hermit, it's about introspection, going within, looking at the light in the darkest of time. That's great. But if I want to channel a message about the Hermit, this could also be somebody who's suffering with depression, who needs to take a step back from a mother who might be overbearing. That's a very specific message, right? Totally different. So if someone wants to sit in the comment and say, oh no, they need to go within, that's amazing. You want to portray it that way to yourself. But if a reader is telling you a specific message, that is the message. That is it. It is the conversation with source. That is the message that is meant for it. It's not the textbook definition. You cannot tell the reader what you think it is and say, no, that's what I want it to be. Because that is you trying to manipulate it. And that's not what it's supposed to be. It's not. If it was supposed to be that way, I promise you I would tell you it that way. I promise you. I will always tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. I'm a Libra. My card is justice. That's my job. That's my job. Okay? I'm never going to lie to you. I promise you. But don't try to, I'm just going to tell you what it is. Don't be deceptive to yourself and try to switch the outcome or switch what you want a card to be because you don't like the way it was portrayed in the reading. Okay? Just accept it for how it was read. Okay? And if you wanted more information on it or you don't have the full answer to your question, ask yourself, do you really need more information on it? And if you do, why? Because I get that a lot. I wish you read more into that. Why do you need to know more? Do you need to know more? Do you really need to know more? Okay? I just want to put this video out because there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in regards to just watching tarot on YouTube, right? Because we need to know about energy. We need to know how to actually interpret it. If you guys want more information on actual zodiac signs, houses, because I actually went over this today in a personal reading, like houses and a chart, what they look like, stuff like that. Let me know in the comments. I can try to do something about that. I'm currently trying to rearrange my entire calendar for October and November. And the first 2 weeks, what day is it? Let's start there. Yeah, so the first 2 weeks of October, so September 29th through next Sunday, and then the first week of October, my YouTube videos are going to be a little off schedule just because I'm really slammed. I'm house hunting. I will be moving at the end of next month. I have personal readings. I have a lot going on, but then my schedule's finally, I'm going to be able to get on a very consistent schedule with YouTube uploads for you guys. So just bear with me, but let me know if you do want this video because then I will be able to schedule it and get it out for you guys. Okay? I love you. I hope you found this helpful. If you want more information on this or you have more questions about how to interpret tarot, put them down below and I'll just do like a how to interpret part 2. Okay? I love you and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.